Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday morning chat and business training. Uh, Today is Thursday, May 8th. Isn't it amazing? Here we are cruising through the days and the months. But today's subject, this Thursday morning call is kind of like, homeschool. It's our not night school, it's morning school. But some people listen to it at night because the replays are available pretty quickly. And yesterday on our director's call, which we really look forward to inviting all of you to join us on once you become a director, okay? Uh, we discussed, we always try and come up with what's the best thing to be doing and talking about. And last week, several of you did a wonderful job talking about, the role and responsibility of sponsorship, responsibility, really what you need to do to be a good sponsor. And so we're going to play off that and continue forward because to be a good sponsor, what's one of the most important things you should do when you sign up a new brand partner? Number one, you should be signing up new brand partners. Number two, you should be helping them get started right. So this morning, we're going to walk through a getting started structure strategy that's kind of general for our profession as well as specific to LifeWave. And we're going to talk about our daily action plan, which encompasses the income generating activities that if you can get your new brand partners engaged in, success is going to truly be yours. Because you've heard Robin and I say many times, success in this business is not magical, it's mathematical. And it's how many times you're engaging new people with the daily action plan. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So please hold on. And I'm going to take you to one of our favorite websites, liveyoungersuccess.com. And this is not the only way to get new people started, okay? Because I know some leaders have their own websites and training programs, and I really celebrate that. But, this is the general fallback for everyone because we started building this, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, and it's grown and grown and grown to be a pretty robust resource. So I hope you're all making use of it and complementing the other things you're doing. So, so when you get a new brand partner started, I suggest you invite them to liveyoungersuccess.com. Maybe do it on a screen share, maybe on a Zoom, and walk them through it. And we like to say getting started is as easy as one, two, three. Step one, the InTouch app. Step two, the daily action plan. Step three, training and support. Now, one thing I want to point out to you that I hope you're all excited about, if you scroll down a little bit further, we talk about our Live Younger success system and all the robust pieces of the puzzle that we're putting together for you. But what is really new is the new David Schmidt 1 minute and 40-second video. If you haven't seen, you want to go to Live Younger and watch this because this is like the trailer for the David Schmidt documentary that's being worked on. So now that's there on the homepage of Live Younger Success. So I'm going to skip over that. I invite you all to take a look at it. If you haven't seen it, you want to. And I'm going to go to step one. That's probably the best place to go. And you can get there several ways. You can click here. If you're new to LifeWave, click here. You can go up in here and go 1, 2, 3, or you can just go here to step one and click on it. So I'm going to click on step one. Boom, here we are. Getting started is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now, we've been talking about the InTouch app, and I spent a good part of the morning before getting on with you with Liz Hodges updating this first step one to include the personalized liveyounger.com because we're getting such good reviews and remarks from people. We want new people to know there's two primary tools you can use for sharing, the business and the products with your prospects, and that's the InTouch app, and that's the personalized Live Younger, or just the unpersonalized Live Younger, just the general Live Younger, which is free. So here we walk people through. There's a short tutorial people can watch. There's a training that I did with Garrett Johnson, gosh, 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, but the basics don't change, talking about how to use the InTouch app. And I just think the InTouch app is the coolest development in network marketing since the video cassette, okay? Because we kind of went from the video cassette to the audio cassette, to the CDs, to the DVDs, but they all took time and money to buy and send to people. And now we're in the digital age. We have the InTouch app. You have this robust sharing library within the InTouch app that you can use to send videos to people, and they get it instantly. They get it, and as soon as they watch it, you get notified. And that's been kind of a missing link in our profession since I've been involved for 36 years. You do your best to send the coolest information package. I spent more money on FedEx overnight shipments than you could ever imagine. And the video cassettes and the audio cassettes and the CDs just sit on the shelf there, and you never know when they watch it. And they always say they will. Most of them don't, right? Anybody been there, done that? Now, when they watch it, when they don't. So you can call up and follow up and say, hey, when are you going to get a chance to watch that video? So I think this is not an InTouch training today. If you want an InTouch training, watch the video, and get your new people to download the free app, watch the tutorials, and the most important thing is practice. Have them practice by sending you a video, because now they're using it. And when you click and watch it, they get a notice, and it's like, wow, it really works. It makes it real. So the first person they should send, your new brand partners, the first person they should send a video to is you, okay? And that kind of breaks the ice. It gets them going. Okay, so now what we added this morning, we want to invite new brand partners to consider having a personalized liveyounger.com website for only $50. So we've included the information that you're all familiar with. It's been on our newsletters. It's in the What's New section of liveyounger.com. So now it's in the Getting Started section. We explain what it is. We explain page 1, page 2. And we also included, Sherry did a wonderful job, Sherry Dungan, a couple of weeks ago, walking people through a 20-minute training on how to best use the personalized app. So we added that here. So that's step 1, get people armed. These are the 2 primary tools we use for sharing, along with patches. A lot of people, just keep on patching. Some of the most successful teams and individuals in our company patch everybody that gets in front of them. The old 3-foot rule, if they get within 3 foot, put a patch on them, especially if you're engaged with them. But so let's skip to step 2, because this is where we wanted to focus today, our simple daily action plan. And, if we had more time, we would have made it even shorter, okay? But we tried to boil it down to the basics, and it's turned into a 5-step daily action plan. And if you can learn, do it, and teach it, you're going to be successful. Success will truly be yours, because this just works. This is the basics of our profession and our industry, personalized for Lifeway with the tools we have. So number 1, you want to connect with people heart to heart. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And you connect first. Don't just start downloading. And that's the temptation. When you're brand new, you're kind of like a LifeWave evangelist. You can't help yourself talking to people about Lifeway before you connect and open their hearts and minds to receive. So it's so important. We're in the people business, and people, again, want to know you love and care for them. And then your job is to pique their interest. And one of our trainers said a few years ago, your job is to get people interested in something they don't know exists. LifeWave X39, our breakthrough in stem cell technology. And you might say, like Kai Jacobson said to us 6.5 years ago, what do you know about stem cells? He didn't use that exact word. He just says, hey, this company that came up has got a new stem cell patch. And he didn't know Robin was considering getting a $12,500 stem cell injection. Were we interested? Yes. Are you in pain? Yes. Well, he told us this story. So this is some basic phraseology you can use to pique their interest. And the key is be the messenger, not the message. You pique their interest and you point them to liveyounger.com, the personalized or non personalized. You can point them to the Power of the Patch webinar 24/7. And this should be first because I think this is the best first approach. Send them a video from InTouch. Send them a 2, 3, 4 minute video. And if you're not sure which one to send, that means you haven't watched enough videos. Shut off Netflix, open up InTouch, that sharing library. I encourage you to watch every video there. Become familiar with them. Find your favorite because you're not going to send the same video to everyone. There's some primary ones that you could send to everyone, but you might have someone with a special need that you want to send a different video to. But become friends with the InTouch app. That turns, this is your business, right? Your telephone. Yeah, it's a little fuzzy, but this is your business. This is, your telephone. And it's free. The InTouch app is free. LiveYounger.com is free. There is a paid professional version, which you can, have your personal name information. You've all seen that. I'm not going to go through that today. This is not a liveyounger.com training. This is more of a daily action plan reminder, helping us all to remember to get back to the basics. And if you only do one thing with your new brand partners, if you can get them to learn and do this simple daily action plan, the success is going to be theirs. It becomes a numbers game, and the more you work the numbers, the better you get at the game. It's like the first time you stood at bat and swing to hit the ball. You swing, 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 swing until you finally hit, and it's so exciting when you finally hit the ball. People get hooked for the rest of their life. It's like fishing. You sit there with a line in the water. You wait and wait and wait, and all of a sudden the pole bends, the line pulls, and people get hooked on fishing for the rest of your life. We're hooked on network marketing for the rest of our life. We love this profession. And so you point to the tools, and then the industry's saying is the fortune's in the follow-up. Robin corrected and brought it to the next level. The fortune and the friendship is in the follow-up. This is where it all happens. And this is where we all fall short. If you're not good at follow-up, welcome to the club. It's a forced learned skill. You have to practice it. Even though you may not be good at it, do it anyway. Just do it because that's how you're going to sift through and find the people that want it. And you know what? My experience is when you send somebody a video, maybe 1 out of 3 people will watch it without being prompted to, and you get the little ping from InTouch. If you follow up, you could probably get a second person to watch it after you nudge them 2 or 3 times. That third person, no matter how many times you call them, they may never watch it. And that's just the way it is. So, we've trained before and talked about the concept of go for no. You're going to get a lot more no's than yeses. But in order to get yeses, you have to be willing to go through the no's. So, and then the fortunes in the follow up and what happens next, it's you enroll people. It's kind of like the law of the farm. You think about it, connecting is you're preparing the environment to plant the seed when you pique their interest, and then you follow up and you plant the seed with the tools and you follow up to water, and your enrollment is the harvest. And you're not going to have any harvest unless you plant the seeds, water, and do the basic work. So we've also got a section here. I'm just going to pop open words at work. And thank you, Judy Daniel, for putting this together. And it's in the category here because people say, well, what do I say? Print this out, put it on your desk. What do you say? Phrases from Phil Jones, as a gentleman said, you got to get good at interrupting people long enough to make them interested and they don't know exists. So Phil is a brilliant trainer. So is Big Al Schreider. This is just really good materials. Then there's some, would it be okay if I sent you a 3-minute video? I'd like to invite you to check out a short video. And if you like what you say, I'd be happy to send you a sample. When would be a good time to get back together? And then basic follow-up. What interested you most? What did you like best about what you heard? What questions? So these are, and then enrollment. Are you going to be using the patches for yourself, or are you going to plan on sharing them with others? Because that helps you sort through making them a customer, making them a brand partner. And if they're not ready to enroll, send them some more information. Hey, I'd be happy to send some more information. Hey, I'd be happy to put you on a 3-way call with one of my business partners. That's a really good question. I don't have the answer because I'm kind of new at this, but I'd love to get you on the phone with one of my partners and see if they could answer your question. So you want to engage people. Marketing is about engagement. Robin's giving me a note. What does it say? Robin has comments. Oh my gosh. That means it's time for me to take another drink and take a breath. Robin, I'll turn it over to you.
Uh, I didn't
There you
want
are.
to interrupt your flow. I'm sorry. That was
That's okay.
brilliant. It was
Yeah.
brilliant. And,
Well, I did what I wanted to do. I got through the two
okay. Well,
parts of it.
you did great. Could you go back to the top of the uh, getting started section? But thank you, Gregory, because I don't, so many of you know this, but some of you don't. Is when I started in this business 25 plus years ago, someone wise said to me, find a mentor. And then 4 years later, I married him. So I'm going to share some of his wisdom with you that he taught me and a few other things that I've learned along the way. Um,
Now, I just want to give one example. The fortune, the friendship, and the marriage is in the follow-up. It was a slow close. I had to follow up for 4 years.
it wasn't exactly like that, but it took 2 years for us to get, oh, it's you. Anyway.
And it was worth every minute, right, Gregory?
That's right.
Oh, I tell you, yeah, we have a fun story, and maybe someday we should share our story,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of dimensions to it. But um, as far as using the video and using the app, it's such a powerful tool. And I hear so many people say, well, they didn't watch it. And I can almost always, not 100%, um, s- guarantee that the people didn't take enough time up front to find out what's important to people. Because when they perceive that they're here and we ask where they want to be, that they can see that we are the vehicle to get from here to here.
Mhm.
Then they're going to watch the video. So that time in connecting and developing the relationship, you guys hear me all the time. It is a relationship business first
Mhm.
and foremost. And one of the landmines that a lot of networkers fall in, I was one of them early on, was I jumped in too fast. I was so excited about the product, the opportunity, the community. When you look at what's going on with LifeWave, there's so much excitement to share. But if we jump in too fast, it's too fast. But if we stop and take the time to connect with them and find out where they are and where they want to be, and we can ask, I like to ask two questions. We can use the magic wand. If you don't like the magic wand, you don't need to use it. You can just say, if there was one thing in your life that would make the biggest difference in your health that would be better, what is that and how would it change your life? And then they're going to share what's going on. And so I ask it about their health and I also ask it about their lifestyle. If there's one thing that could be better in your lifestyle that would make the biggest difference, what would it be and how would that change your life?
Mhm.
And typically people will say time or money. And we know that it's never about the time or money. We want to go the next level. When you do have the time and you do have the money, what would you be doing? And they may say, more time with my family. Um, taking, I love to travel. I don't have the freedom. I want to have the money enough to support people that can't afford the patches. Whatever it may be, then send the video and watch what happens. They'll probably watch it. And I come across this all the time. So I wanted to just make a note of that one. And in step, can you go back one more screen, honey? Oh, can I do, yeah, go back to the top where it says getting started. And in the drop down menu, go to network marketing videos. When someone is brand new, Gregory said, if you're talking, you're pointing to a tool. And that's where this came from on the top left, making the shift. I personally have everybody, whether you have network marketing experience or not, listen. This is an audio, it's a 90-minute audio. I have personally listened dozens of times. I will honestly admit the first time I listened to it, I went, OMG. I got to hear all the stuff I did wrong. I fell in most all the landmines he talks about. I did just about everything wrong when I started in this business over 25 years ago, and he nailed it. And if you want to shortcut your journey to success, learn from Darren Hardy. Making the shift, the mindset necessary to be successful in this business. And he says, if you're talking, you're pointing to a tool. And that's what makes our business model different. And we come, I work with a lot of our doctors and practitioners, and they're used to being experts.
What's going on?
Oops, we got some, Mark, let's mute Mark's line, okay? Thanks. And so they're used to being an expert, and they have to develop a new muscle to, when they're building their business, they want to be pointing to tools. And one of my favorite examples is Dr. Tom Acklin. I think we all know Dr. Tom and love Dr. Tom. Dr. Tom's brilliant. He's a neurologist. He knows this stuff. He would do three-way calls and have Connie as his expert. Connie's a hairdresser. So Dr. Tom puts Connie on the line with his prospects. That's what we want to do. We want the reason the three-way calls are so magical is whether it's conscious or not, people are getting, I can do this. I can introduce my friend to one of my teammates and be quiet and let them do the work. That's what we're wanting. The three-way call is magic. It's also an opportunity to train. I've been doing a lot of three-way calls with some new people lately, and it's my opportunity to train these new people by talking to their prospects. So it has so many dimensions, and we're going to probably do a refresher on three-way calls, because if you're not using them, your business probably isn't growing. And I can honestly say that just because you know stuff doesn't mean it's going to work. We want people to realize that it's simple and duplicatable, and that's where you get the success. So another thing Gregory said, he talked about the follow-up, and that's where most of us fall short. And Gregory taught me something so powerful that changed my life. We talk about the fortune and the friendship and the follow-up, but most of us don't do it very well. I'm guilty, but Gregory taught me something that changed my life. And when you're talking to a prospect and you're sharing a tool, say, I'm going to send you, a short video and a website that has a few short videos. When in the next day or so, can you take a look at that? Notice my languaging. We want to keep our exposures close together. Most people need several exposures. I was an anomaly. When Kai said that, I said, how fast can I get it? I didn't even ask what it was, how much it cost, what the delivery system was. I just wanted it. Okay. And then there's the extreme of people that want to read all the science and they have to do all their research. It doesn't matter. We want to give people enough of the right information to make an informed decision. And how do we know what that is? We ask them, do you like a lot of information, a little, or somewhere in between? So when we're making that exposure, what we want to do is set up the follow-up at the time of exposure. And it can be someone monitoring the back,
Yeah, I got it.
great, thank you. We don't, the follow-up, if you set the follow-up, never, and this is from Gregory, and this has changed my life, and it will change yours if you use it. never end one exposure without setting up the next. And that's with your prospect, with your customers, and with your brand partners. We know from Gregory's wisdom and experience that retention happens when we stay connected, when we have a relationship, when we educate people. So keep those exposures close together and you will need less of them. If you wait too long, and it's like so many people say, well, I don't want to be a pest. I don't want to be those networkers. Gregory likes to call it professional persistence, right?
That's correct.
How am I doing good as your
You're
student,
doing
honey?
wonderful, honey. You're a good student and a good teacher.
And so it makes life so much easier and better than we're not worried about, oh my God, did I follow up? When did I schedule? Schedule the follow-up immediately. And people feel respected. Then we don't have to play phone tag and blah, 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 and get into I'm being a pest. So those were a few things I wanted to share to highlight what Gregory shared and what I've learned from him that has made such a difference. And getting people off to a great start, just sending that video from the InTouch app, they've broken through. You know what it's like when you haven't done something and then you do it the first time? Oh, that was easy. And oh,
That was easy.
Everybody needs an easy button.
I love my easy button. So those are the few things I wanted to share.
I just want to add to that about never end one meeting without scheduling the next. So when you're on the phone with somebody or a Zoom and you're letting them know you're sending something and you schedule a tentative follow-up date, I got to tell you, there's a lot better chance when you do that follow-up, they will have watched the video because they're going to be embarrassed if they didn't. So it does add some accountability in that loop. And it's just a really wise thing. When would be a good time to get back with you? Should I get back with you later today or tomorrow sometime? Let's face it doesn't take all day to watch a 3-minute video.
There
So,
you go.
I know we're on limited time, and Jim, you got to jump out. And it was your idea to talk about income generating activities. Did you want to jump in for a couple minutes before you head over to corporate headquarters?
You
may
might
have
be
already-
gone.
He may already be gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are so blessed to have Jim Gilliland in our team and in LifeWave because he is an expert in water and water systems and servicing and technology and all kinds of stuff. And the company is really learning from him because they've never been in this business before. So it's so wonderful that they're so receptive and responsive. So any comments or
I
questions?
wonder if there's any folks that were on the director's call last night where yesterday morning, excuse me, when we had this discussion, if you had anything you wanted to add to our discussion this morning before we open it up for general Q&A.
You covered it all, you guys.
That was the goal. Back to the basics. Success is not magical, it's mathematical. Now everybody has the formula, right? Okay. Well, great. And Lavelle's got your hand up. Hey, brother.
Lavelle?
Hey,
You come
Greg.
in. Hey, Lavelle.
Great, great training. But I think that you and Robin said something that everyone needs to take to the next level. Not only be a good student, be a good teacher.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And it starts when you sign up your first brand partner. And if you're brand new, get your sponsor involved in that initial training. Learn by watching, learn by doing. But, it's so important when someone first joins, there's a certain fallowness of consciousness. I like to say that people are open to your advice, to your suggestions, and to your guidance. You're a mentor. You're their guide, to guide them through the process of getting started properly. And so you want to jump through that window. I think, in fact, I'm going to just share my screen one more time. I'm going to go back to our website here and right here, because I want to go to step 3. There's step 2. Step 3, we say get connected. So we're encouraging people. If you're a brand new brand partner reading through this, remember you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. Schedule a personal planning session with your upline mentor. We're pushing them that back to you. So when someone's brand new, you should get them using the InTouch app, get them to learn and understand the daily action plan, and schedule a personal planning session. And that's where you pull out, we have a document, what's it called, Robin? The get to know you document?
That's what it's called. And it's in the business
What a
basics.
logical name.
It's in the business basics, and that's how I start every new person. I
Mhm.
want to, again, it's taking the time to develop the relationship, and that 15 minutes that you spend with them says to them that, wow, I'm important. They want to learn about me. I want to know, do you like texts or emails? I want to know if you've had background in network marketing. I want to know, why you're doing this. I want to know a little bit more about you, what your challenges of working as an entrepreneur. And then we can work together so much more effectively, but it's building the relationship that's making the difference. Gregory and I have been in a lot of companies, and we've had all kinds of experiences, and I won't get into that, but the companies may not stay, but the relationships do. We met Judy Daniel and Sunwolf in another company, and Judy said to me, if you ever find something, you have to call me first, you know? And so we want to stay together because we love each other. And therein lies, the real beauty of this business is, the relationships. This community is amazing. Okay, back to you.
Okay, and Joseph, you got your hand up. You have a question for us. Unmute yourself, Joseph.
I don't know if you're on the phone or in your computer. Joseph did put a question in the chat about needing help with his picture. So,
Okay.
so that's something that,
Am I here?
there
Can
you
you-
are. Hi, Joseph.
Okay. I I owe someone several $1,000s, and he and so we made a pact that I would repay him in patches. And so currently all I do is send him patches. But my thought was, if I myself sign him up as a brand partner, and I pay the $295 and the $99 a month, then on some level, if I do that, I would be at least getting back something from what pact we've made. Is that a decent way of doing it, and also benefits me?
Joseph, I'm going to let Robin respond to that and maybe schedule an offline call to go a little deeper. But Robin, you want to give a brief response to that?
Yeah, Joseph, I definitely want to have a visit with you, because what we want to do is make sure, it's important if you sign him up that he knows he's being signed up. I know
Of course.
other people don't even know they're being signed up into business. It's a win-win-win, but let's talk about the specifics offline, because this is your unique situation, but that's a great idea. And so let's take it the next step, okay?
Oh, I'm available. You have my schedule. I texted it to you.
Yes, and we're gonna talk. We got several things to talk about. Okay?
Okay. Sorry to bring it up in the
Okay.
wrong.
No,
that's
no,
quite
venue.
right. That's what this call is
It's
for.
actually a great question, and I want to go deeper with you on that. No, I'm so glad you're here. That's wonderful. Okay, Royden and then Shannon.
I have a funny story. Got a call the other day from a guy saying, so for a full sleeve of X39, how much goat's milk would be the
How much goat milk?
goat milk? Yes.
Oh, you don't know, Royden, that Gregory lives on goat milk.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Unpasteurized goat milk. He lives on it.
Yeah. But I
To
had a
add that up.
question. Yeah, I had a question on the business side. Where I feel like we're really lacking is to get a really good picture of our network. Like, you know how we can get certain views, but it's never a big picture that you can zoom in or zoom out. Is there anything on the business side where they're working on better visualizations?
Yes.
100%.
Very soon, we're going to have a whole new back office and
I
we're going
wouldn't say very soon, but they're
well,
working on a new back office that
I
will
think
have.
I think it's first quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have a much
Well,
more
that is exciting to hear.
highly
I'm
functional
excited.
back office where we'll be able to get a much better perspective on our entire business and lots of other reports. I
Mhm.
think everyone's going to be delighted and thrilled. I think we're noticing, if you're paying attention to your back office, they're making tweaks. And those are in process, but we are going to have a new back office and it will be a major improvement and it will be in the near future. Okay? Yes, we know, we agree with you, Royden, big time. Yeah. Shannon. We're up for any business questions you want for this second half hour.
Thank you
Yes,
so much, Robin. It's good to
You're
see you and Gregory again.
great to see you.
Yeah, so I have a lot of fun connecting with people wherever I'm at, and I lead from my heart. I'm very compassionate. It doesn't take me very long before I go from their personal issues and what's going on to how are you dealing with that? What have you done? What works? What doesn't? Hey, you know what I've done is or discovered, and I'll introduce the Life Wave. So getting the information, email, text, all that's been great. Following up, like Gregor was saying, let them know that you're going to be contacting. That's been going good. But lately, I've just decided it's time to really step it up and really let people know that I am going to be following up like no kidding. I show up to their shop and find out that half their employees are no longer there. They're stressed out. I'm like, Shannon, I'm so sorry I didn't watch that video, but I have some questions. Oh, I'm so glad I'm here today. And again, it's so awesome when we actually do care, we do follow up and set intention. And the next thing you know, people are looking at me like, this literally happened. This lady came up to me and said, can I just share with you what's going on in my life? Because you just seem like a really caring person. The next thing you know, there's videos going out and follow up and enrollments. So my question, business question, is in regards to opening up the screen share. I have never done that before. So I'm just trying to figure out exactly how do I have someone like, okay, so go to your, into your site and then let's connect that way and I'll walk you through it. So I just haven't done that before. It seems kind of simple, but what would you recommend?
Okay. That's a lot. And I love hearing you're ready to step up. That's wonderful because you are loving and caring and heart-centered and this is a caring and sharing business. I want to add one piece and then I'm going to get to the answer of your question. One of our coaches said something that really changed my life. You know, when someone's got, Gregory likes to call them lumpuckaroos, when you're talking to someone and they share what's going on with them and what they want better, a follow-up question can be, if there was something safe, natural, and affordable that could help you with your lumpuckaroo, your sore back, your sore knee, or whatever it may be, what's your openness and willingness to learn about it?
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent.
And
This
then
is
let me address the sharing, if I might.
okay.
The best way to share, Shannon, is you share on your Zoom account. I
Okay.
don't know how to share. It's harder to teach somebody to share because they may not be Zoom savvy. So
Yeah.
that's why Robin and I, we bought a URL. We have, mascarizoom.com, and it's really easy. And you can buy a URL from GoDaddy or anywhere for about $10 a year. And you
Okay.
can have shannonzoom.com, something like that. So if you're on with a brand partner, say, hey, let's just meet on my Zoom account. Go to shannonzoom.com. You go there, they go there, and you open up Live Younger Success and you walk them through it.
And we'll help you learn how to do the share screen. It's real,
Yes.
That's
real,
easy.
it's really simple. Down at the bottom when you're on Zoom, it says share. You just have the link. This is for everybody. This
Yeah,
is
and practice with Michelle. She's an expert.
yes, practice.
Awesome.
Is when you're on Zoom, at the bottom of your screen, it says share, but before you do that, make sure you have the screen opened. You've got the website you want to share open, and you click share screen. It'll show your desktop. Then you pick Live Younger Success, and then you walk through it. It's really, really simple, but practice so
Yeah.
you're comfortable and it doesn't look uncomfortable, okay? It's really simple. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh,
Appreciate it.
thank you. Great. Larry, and then CL.
Good morning, everybody. Good to see you again. I wondered if this is a little bit off the subject, but has anybody used flexible spending accounts in order to pay for their patches? Is there anybody that has any history of using that benefit through their work, through their personal life, where they can pay for patches?
Is it an HSA account, Larry?
It could be, but if people have, their funding flexible
Yes,
for over-the-counter
many
stuff, and
many people have.
what do they do? Are they getting
Yeah,
letters
but
from
there's
doctors?
there's different types of accounts, so you have to find out what your account allows you to do, but a lot of people have used an HSA account. I don't know about the term flexible account as much, but yes, they have.
And are they having to get doctors
No.
approvals? Because I've heard that that was a requirement for flexible spending, even
I-
for over-the-counter stuff.
It's not for HSA for flexible spending. I don't know, but you'll have to do a little further research. But yes, people have
Some
used.
HSAs it may be required. We used to have an HSA. We used it for nutritional supplements. We used it for massages. Everything that the insurance didn't
Right.
cover, we used our HSF because we had a credit card,
Hmm.
and it was a debit card to our HSA account. So you got to check into the rules for your particular one. I don't know if
Yeah.
there's anyone here that has more expertise or knowledge about that, but that's my limit.
No, thank you. It is something I think is a resource that people don't
Yeah.
realize. If
Sure.
they have shock, and awe about pricing, then they've already paid for something that they're getting something
Right.
for their headaches or that type of process. So I wanted to see if there was any experience. But anyway, I hope it can be a help, and thank you for yours.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I just
CL, you
I-
had your hand up?
go for it, CL, and then Lavelle and Miche, and then I want to respond to a few things in the chat. So CL, you're on.
Thank you. Good morning. Just
Good
a quick
morning.
question. It's a compliance comment. My newest brand partner, Sherry, sent me a text this morning saying that Walmart now is selling also online, and I'm assuming that compliance is all over this with everything online. It's
Yes.
kind of shocking how inexpensive it is.
Well, what we heard from compliance about that particular subject is
Mhm.
there's a ridiculously cheap price, and what they're experiencing, people are not getting the product, and people that are getting the product aren't getting the right product, and they're getting a fraction of what they say they're going to get. So it's there's a lot of scammers out there using the Walmart app. They're independent people. It's not Walmart itself.
That's what it looks like.
They've got things under control with Amazon. The Walmart thing is beware because people are getting scammed and they're losing their money and not getting product.
And compliance is on it. There's one more thing I want to mention that I've seen with a few of the different supplement manufacturers that we buy from, sending out warnings to not buy from Amazon because there's Chinese counterfeit products being sold. In one of the recent orders for a product we got, it was definitely not meant. It was very similar. They copied the label almost exactly the same, but it was a different product, and it was ridiculously cheap. And that company is one of the companies that sends out warnings. Don't buy from Amazon because there's counterfeit products being sold there.
I think it's important to share this with all of our personal communities because all the newbies are going to be exposed to the documentary coming up, and LifeWave's
Yes.
so popular. So thank you.
So the company is on it, and that's a really good point that I'm sure they're going to be all over it because when we go public, we're going to want to have the counterfeit and non-compliant sellers dealt with before that. Very good point.
Hey.
My
Mijet,
younger brother, Lavelle.
Hey, younger man. So just to piggyback on what you and Robin trained on, which was phenomenal this morning. And my wife and I have been around network marketing, as you know, a long time. So I'm just going to say less is more. So don't throw up on people. Don't be a lone ranger. Always have someone involved.
Mhm.
Don't be the star of your own movie. Get out of the way. Use the experts. The experts are anything but yourself. It's a video. It's a three-way call. And just to let everyone know, my wife and I, we built large organizations of tens of thousands of people. And guys, we always build our business with third-party validation because a prophet is not honored in his own hometown. Thanks so much for letting me share.
well, I want to comment on what you shared because it was fabulous. The Lone Ranger thing, people say, oh, I could do this. I know this. This is a team sport. If you try to do it yourself, it's going to take longer. It's going to be not nearly as much fun, and it will not nearly be as effective. And so this incorporate the team using those three-way calls is so vital. And less is more. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Our job, and we've done trainings on this, is to create curiosity. We want people to want more. And so we plant a few little seeds and then we be quiet and then they're hungry and they want more. And I call it the potato chip theory. If you give someone one potato chip, what do they want? If you cram a whole bag down their throat, what do they want? They'll run away or throw up or something. So we want to do the potato chip theory and give people little bits. And so, and thank you for saying, you know, really, it's not our show. It's always about them. Thank you so much, Lavelle, for sharing your wisdom. That was wonderful. Diane, you're next, and then Sunshower. Unmute.
Okay, so I'm out walking and I have a question and this call's been
Hey,
great.
Barry.
So, we're in 2025 and there are a lot of coaches out. You guys have been in the business, for a very long time. And my question is, you see all these coaches out there and everyone's saying you have to develop a brand before you can, have a successful network marketing business. And you have to be on social media all the time, not talking about LifeWave and X39, but if you don't have social media, you're not going to go anywhere in this business in the future. How true are either of those statements?
Well, it may be true for them, but I don't buy into those. I mean, we have the opportunity to design our business around the nooks and crannies of our life the way we want to live. And we never developed a brand. We just kept
Okay.
showing up. We kept developing relationships. I didn't use social media. I connected with people. And so there are people that have that belief, and God bless them, and they could build really well. It's not that they're wrong, but I don't think anything is absolute. I think we all need to build authentically what fits for us in our way. But I talked to someone just yesterday, and they said their team is so busy building their brand, they're not doing business. And one person can make a huge difference in your business. So I'm not saying that building a brand is wrong. I think it's valuable, but I don't think it's gonna be the most important thing to get your business off the ground. Yeah. So
Okay, yeah.
the thing that works is connecting with
People.
people and
That's
giving
right.
and giving them hope. We're in the business, and David talks about this all the time. We're in the business of giving people hope. Hope that their experience in their physical body can be even better. Hope that their future in their finances and their lifestyle can be more in alignment with what's important. That's what we do. And if we,
I'd like to add to that, Diane.
yeah,
More important than building a brand is finding influencers that have one.
that'll be a leveraged way to move
It
forward.
takes a long time to build a brand and a following.
Yeah.
It may only take a day to find someone that has one.
Yes, yes.
Right, but the problem is then when they get, 900 people, there's no way to follow up with all these people, and they're
Well-
not gonna do it.
And if that problem occurs, if you get someone that's got 900 people, get with your upline or us, and we'll teach you ways to manage that,
We
okay?
have several
We
people
can manage that. That's a
working
good
with-
problem.
working with influencers that bring on a lot of people, and they have a support structure set up to take care of that. So go meet some people and help them change their lives.
Those are the
That's
problems.
what we're doing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Sunshower.
Hi, thanks so much for this great training, Robin and Gregory. And I want to support what you just said about giving people hope. When you have that in your heart, you may not come across quite so frantic and excited, because we do get so excited about what we have in our hands that it is easy to regurgitate all over people about what we have. And we just know that it's going to be good for them. And so what do you mean no? So I also want to follow up on what Lavelle said about the prophet not being honored in his own territory. That's very true. It's like when we begin telling people stuff about stem cells, they'll say like, well, when did you become an authority? And then you try to explain all this stuff and you back yourself into a corner, which leads to three-way calls. Now, most people, what I've found is that most people are very, very shy about asking their mentor in LifeWave to assist with three-way calls. But I'm suggesting that you practice with whoever is your sponsor, whoever is your mentor. Practice a few times, and then don't be shy about arranging a time with that mentor to arrange a time for, a follow-up call with a three-way. It's the best tool that we have. You guys have got to take advantage of it.
That's so, Jim Rohn says, practice. And we talked about go for no. And he said, practice with 10 people a day or 10 people, whatever, pick your number and go to your friends and say, I'm learning something new. I need to practice. I'm not asking you to buy my product, get involved in my business, but I just need to practice. Would you be willing? And amazing things happen when you do that. But the practice and getting comfortable makes such a difference. And, interesting things may unfold because they go, whoa, I didn't know you did this. This is cool. I want to try it. But don't be attached, saying it's not about you getting involved or buying anything. I just need to practice. Thank you for sharing that, Sunshower. Larry.
Before Larry comes on, hold on just a moment, Larry. Robin, I'm going to pass the torch over to you. I've made you the host. I have to prepare for a Zoom coming up in 7 minutes. So I'm going to bow out. I thank everybody for being here today. What a lovely day. What a lovely team. What a wonderful opportunity we all share together. And oh, by the way, as far as our tours for next week, the 10 o'clock slot is filled up and we're able to get 11 o'clock slot available. So we now have 11 and 1 available next Tuesday if you have any VIPs for drive-in or fly-ins. So
Thank you, Gregory.
I'm going to bow out and
Thank
pass it over.
you, Gregory. Fabulous training. Thank
You
you.
did an
Thank you.
amazing
Gregory.
job, honey.
Okay,
Thank
bye-bye,
you.
everyone.
Thank you. You see why I married him? I didn't marry him because of that. But I got really lucky to marry my mentor. Okay, Larry.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, I approached my upline with a suggestion that I thought might be of some help. I'm busy, they're busy. Robin, you and Gregory, of course, are busy. And I asked for my upline. I have 2 people that I consider support or sponsors. Could I get at least 2 15-minute sections of their time per week that I could always know will be mine for about a month, on Tuesday at 11:15 to 11:30, and from 4:15 to 4:30 or something like that. I just needed to have something that I could actually schedule to that was convenient for them. There was no guesswork on my part, knowing that, hey, that's booked for Larry. And I could be courteous to them and say, hey, I don't need it. Maybe a 12-hour window or a 10-hour window or something. But I thought I might suggest that because uplines are busy. Uplines have other things that they're doing before they actually go full time with LifeWave. And just having something routine or schedule worthy, I thought I would mention.
Well, that's beautiful, Larry. And it is our job as uplines and sponsors to be there for our people. And when people say to me, "Oh, you're so busy," I said, "Did I ever tell you that?" I never told people that. They perceive that I'm always busy and I don't have time for them. It's not true, but taking the time to ask for what you need is part of the journey. And it's a great idea to have that consistency with your upline and tracking what's going on. That's beautiful. That's a great idea, Larry. Thank you so
It
much.
helped my prospects. Forgive me for interrupting you, Robin, but it did
No.
help a couple of people that I was prospecting to know that, hey, we've got a budget. Hey, Larry's got a routine. You know, it's that kind of thing. So I just want to
Beautiful.
add that little nuance.
This is
Thank
where
you.
we get to design our life and design the
Right.
kind of support we want. You know, when I do grow sessions for people, you know, I do one a month for several months, and then they're done and they're ready to do it for their team. And
Right.
so that consistency really makes a difference. Thank you so much for that. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
I want to address a few things I saw in the chat. Someone asked about how do I protect my patches? And Jim Gilliland talked about using a Faraday bag. And so I went on to, I'm using Grok these days instead of, I'm using ChatGPT too, but I'm using Grok and I asked, does a Faraday bag protect against EMFs? And I got quite an answer. And the answer was no. Yeah, you know, Faraday bags are designed to protect against EMFs and other kinds of frequencies like that. They're not designed to protect against light. And infrared is a version of light. So what we need to protect our, and I sent it to Jim. He goes, great information. He was very grateful because I actually, after listening to him, I ordered some Faraday bags. But many of you know I use two different versions of insulated bags. When I went to my very first LifeWave event, my intention was to figure out how do I protect these things so I can carry them with me. And I ended up sitting next to a woman. This was the launch of X39 actually, and I'd been in the business a few months, and she was using insulated sandwich bags. And I went, what a brilliant idea. So I went online and got some insulated sandwich bags. And then I kept evolving over time to the point that I, you know, had custom made some insulated bags that carry full sleeves. But anyone can go on Amazon and buy a credit card, a zippered credit card holder that has an accordion in it. And then I added extra insulation on the side. Gregory's background, for some of you that don't know, his father had a aluminum insulation manufacturing business. So he's my insulation expert. There you go. So
Hey, Robin, before you leave that, it was a little confusing. Did you say Faraday bags do protect against EMFs, but don't protect against light? You just shook your head. So they do protect against EMFs. Like you stick your phone in a Faraday
Yes,
bag.
absolutely.
No
I have
EMFs.
several right here. It's a great thing to put your phone in at
Right.
night. Keep you protected. Sunshower, would you please show?
It's Mark Adams
Yeah,
needs to be there.
I muted him.
But they don't protect against light. So you're saying a Faraday bag doesn't protect the patches. That's the bottom line.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Thank you.
And you know, anytime you have a question, I mean, I invite everyone to start using AI. I started using Grok, Grok. It's Elon Musk's AI, and it's way more potent than just about anything else out there. So you might want to try it. So Sunshower, you want to show the little bag that you have there? So and see, and why don't you show? Does it? Okay. Do you have are yours labeled?
Yes.
Okay, show the labels. So this
Okay.
is a credit card wallet. You can get on Amazon and see the labels in there. So they're for each of the different patches, and there's air on the top, and I add a little foil bubble wrap on the side to create extra air space, which creates insulation. So I always, what Sunshower is holding, I have that with me always. Robin. Yeah. You want to, Mark, would you please not unmute your line? Thank you. Okay, Sunshower, did you want to say something?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I
Well,
just
thank you
agree.
for
You
thank
need
you
to
for
have your
showing that. It's $10 and it will and you'll you know, one of our doctors, Dr. Tiana, early on says, it's my first aid kit. And I always have it with me.
Robin,
Always.
this is Linda. I wonder if Sunshower could again show what she had because she's just in a thumbnail. When you're talking, you're full screen.
Let me, I didn't know I
If
was full screen.
Sunshower could talk, then we'll see what she's got.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Is she full screen now?
No, she has to be talking.
Okay, hold on.
Hello, I'm
Also,
talking.
could you repeat what it's called, please?
It's a credit card. It's a zippered credit card holder that's an accordion. And hold on, let me spotlight you, Sunshower. Where did you go? Would you?
Right here.
Hold
Oh,
on.
there she is. She's spotlighted.
All righty, here we go.
Okay.
Where
See
do
how
you put the aluminum? Excuse me. Where do you put the aluminum? It's not clear.
on both ends? Because if you close it up, you'll see that close it up, hun. You'll see that there's and hold it to the side. You'll see that, and open just a little. You'll see that there's air on the top. That's insulation, but the sides need a little extra insulation protection. So I've been on a mission ever since I started to figure out a way to make sure my patches are protected so I can carry them at all times. Thank you so much, my dear, for being ready and always there in service to everybody. Okay.
Could I ask you about this? Can you see my?
Yes.
So this is produced by someone who's a LifeWave, a brand partner, and it was. Do you see? Oh.
Okay, so I custom designed these with one of our friends who makes these kind of bags. I said, can you make an insulated bag? And so she made this for me, and it's insulated. It fits several sleeves of patches. It fits all the sleeves. So, and another hot tip, I don't know about you guys, but I got tired of taking the sleeve out, opening it up. So what I did was I cut the flap off so I can just reach in and grab. And when I did that one day, I went, oh my gosh, that made it a lot easier. Thank you, Sarah. That was great. Jonathan.
Oh, I love you guys. You guys, oh, we couldn't have better leadership. So you're saying this still works, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I love this thing and I show it off all the time. Thank you very much.
It was designed, it's got a bubble wrap aluminum, it's got aluminum insulation on the sides, it's got a zipper on the top, it keeps your whole sleeves protected. I actually made a commemorative one for the 20-year anniversary. I just made a small amount and I gifted them to corporate. So, and a few other leaders got them also. So thank you, Jonathan. Anyone else? We're at the top of the hour and we've had a great call. Gargi did an amazing training. Getting people off to a good start makes a huge difference. You know, getting them into success right away. Because when there's another one. Lavelle's showing his off. All right. I love it, you guys. Norma, did you want to ask something before we close our call?
Yeah, can we get one of those Live Younger bags that you designed?
I would have to have a whole bunch. I will get from Jenny. The woman who makes them is out of Hawaii, and I can get her contact information and I can post it so that other people can get them also. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, this has been a wonderful call. You see how I get to learn from Gregory all the time? Isn't that wonderful?
Yes. Oh my gosh, you're so blessed.
I am. I scored the jackpot. I was 51 when I got married for my first time. And a week from today is our 20th anniversary.
Oh, yay. Congratulations.
And I would have waited another 50 years. I did score the jackpot.
Congrats, Robin and Gregory.
Thank you. Okay.